My first memory that I have that I can remember is I played for the Little Brewers. It was a team in Rapids. And we played at, we didn't like play on the field, but it was at like the Rafters field, Witterfield.
My first memory would probably be when, I think it was in middle school. Like I don't really remember much when I was little, but probably in middle school. I actually used to pitch before I was a catcher. I'd pitch and play third. And I remember one game they asked me, they were like, oh, we should try to have you catch and then we'll like switch you guys up. And they were like, no, we're just gonna let her pitch or whatever. And I think it's kind of funny how I ended up catching. I started catching, I think, in 8th grade was it 8th grade? When I joined the travel team in Plover. It was either 8th grade or freshman year. And then I became a catcher because their one catcher was leaving the team, so I decided to join and catch.
I remember middle school coach pitch, and then I remember my dad and mom both played, so I'd run around and get the foul balls. And then one game at Watoma, they hit it over the fence across, I think, 21 or 22, whatever it is there. And some guy gave me $20 for the one ball. I don't know why. I was like 7 or 8 probably. Maybe a little older, I don't know. He gave me $20 for like 1 or 2 balls.
I think it was our regional game. What was it, last year? I went to steal third, and I think I slid. I was like a foot away from the base, so I sat there and like inched my way towards the base. And I know there's a video of it because I've seen it, but it was just kind of funny because my adrenaline was really up, and then I just a lot of people laughed about it. Yeah, it was last year too. Brogan Splinter, the catcher for Adams, we always have like an inside joke that I catch all of her fly balls, and I still do. And there was one Kaylin remembers, is my first and only like diving catch, and there's a good picture of that, but till then like the joke goes on that I always catch her fly balls because she hits them right to me.
I don't know, this doesn't really have anything to do with the team, but I remember I was practicing catching. I was practicing throwing down, and whoever I was working with, they were like, it'd be a good idea to have Zeb go down to second base and, try to catch your ball. So all of a sudden, he's like, don't throw it too hard. I was like, okay. So I threw it down there, but I really didn't think. I threw it, hit him right in the head. I felt so bad. I felt really bad. But I would say another memory is when I played on turf for the first time. I slid into second, but I wasn't used to the turf, and I slid over the base, and as I went over the base, I bumped it, and I farted. It was really embarrassing, but I don't think anybody heard, but like the second baseman.
Maddie and Jazz are in outfield.
Oh my.
Maddie was running, right? Or was that you running?
Are you talking about the fence?
The fence, yeah.
Yep, that was me.
That was you running. And Maddie didn't say fence, so Jazz hit the fence. And then this year we were at Point, the game was in Plover. And Jazz was running to the fence, and I yelled fence, and only one other person heard me yell it. I think the wind was pretty bad. She hit the fence really hard, like exactly the same as last year.
It was one of our playoff games, and I went to go dive, and my helmet hit the ground, and I like skidded across the dirt. And nobody, the second baseman did not believe that I was safe. So she kind of looked at me and looked at the ump, and the ump called me safe. And he probably just felt bad for me because it was bad. I watched the video, I'm like, oh my god. I almost did like a cartwheel or a somersault. And then, yeah, it was great. I'm not the most graceful diver, but Yeah, I still have scars. They're terrible. Tim always makes fun of me because I'm not very graceful.
Oh, I remember. This was recent. Remember that dive I had to third? Where I was like, so she was there. She was about to tag me, and it was the home game, and I went, and I dove, and I slid around it. They called me out, even though I was clearly safe.
Yeah.
It was the coolest experience, because I don't dive.
The ump had a bad angle on it, so he didn't see it, but you dove around it. And it made me mad because I'm like, that was a good dive.
Thank you.
I don't know. Anyway, we were playing Burnham Wood, and Maddie was in center, I was in right. There was 2 outs, and we were tied. And there was a girl on third, and they hit it all the way to the fence. And I somehow jumped up and caught it. I think I said a couple choice words. And me and Maddie looked at each other, and I threw it in, but the girl had already tagged up and made it home. So we didn't win the game, but I don't know how I caught that one.
Oh, I remember that. Okay, Mick
Yeah.
showed up to practice one day in pajama shorts and fuzzy socks. I don't know if she did, I think she just woke up from a nap too, but she showed up and we all gave her, we laughed at her, but she knew it was all in fun.